Year 1, here is a lesson for you today about can you write a simple sentence and check it. So I know that you have been getting really good in Year 1 at saying your sentences, writing them, and then thinking about how we can check them. And what I'm going to do today is to go through with you about that last part that appears on your writing ladder in the say, write, check. And that's looking back over your sentences and checking them and making sure that they make sense. So, first of all, a little bit of a recap for you about the different parts of a sentence and how we can just think about those word names and how those different words can make up a sentence, and just making sure that we've got each of those in a sentence when we write it. So thinking about a noun, a verb, and an adjective. So first of all, I want you to have a think about the sentences that we've got underneath and have a think about which one of these they are describing. Are they describing a noun? Are they describing a verb? Or are they describing the adjective? So the name of a thing, a person, or a place, is that a noun, a verb, or an adjective? It's going to be a noun. So a noun is the name of a thing, a person, or a place. Now the next one, an action or the movement in a sentence. So this is the doing word in a sentence. So what we are being shown is happening, the movement in the sentence. I wonder whether that's a verb or an adjective. So this is a verb. So the verb tells us what the action or the movement is. Now the final one is a bit of a giveaway because we've only got one left. So you've been thinking about adjectives a lot just before we finish school and how they add description in our sentences, and we use these to describe the noun. So we add some detail to the thing, the person, or the place in our sentence. Now, this next part on our pathway, we are thinking about examples. So, thinking about our book, I wanted to write a couple of sentences where we are making sure that we have got something that our sentence is about, something that's happening, so some action in a sentence, and then also some description in there. Because as we move into Year 2 next, we really need to make sure that our sentences are exciting. And the way to make our sentences are exciting is to add some adjectives into the sentences. So in my first sentence, I've written, the little boy walked towards the mole. Now you can see there that I've got two words that are highlighted in blue. So I've got two nouns in my sentence, and that's absolutely fine. Sometimes you might find that you've got more than one noun in your sentence. What we don't want to do is we don't want to have too many adjectives in our sentences. We need to make sure that these are sprinkled through our sentences and we're only using them every now and then to make our sentences exciting. We don't want to use them all of the time because then it gets a bit boring. So we're just going to sprinkle them through, but it's absolutely fine to have a couple of nouns in the same sentence. Now you should be able to spot what the verb is in my sentence there from the colours that I've used. And the action that's happening in my sentence is that the boy is walking. So walking is the action or the movement that's happening in my sentence. In my next sentence, the boy looked at the dark sky. So I've used the same noun again. So the main thing in my sentence is the boy. That's the noun. The action that's happening is that he's looking. So that is the movement. And then the description that I've used is dark, the word dark, so it describes the sky. And sky again is also a noun because it's a thing, it's a name that we give to what's above us. So the sky is also the noun. So again, I've got two nouns in my sentence, which is absolutely fine. So what I want you to do next is I want you to have a look at this picture. So have a think about what's happening in this picture. We can see the fox, the mole, and we can see the little boy, and we can see what they're looking at, and we can see what they're sitting on, and we can see that there is like a wavy tree branch and there's some leaves. And I want you to say a sentence out loud, have a go at writing it. If you've got a blue, a green and a red colouring pencil, you can use those to write your sentence as well, to make sure that you've got your nouns, your verb and your adjective in your sentence as well. Make it a good one. Now, this is my sentence that I've come up with by looking at this picture. So I've got the green leaves blew in the wind. So I've not thought about the fox, the boy or the mole. I've thought about the tree that they're sitting on, the tree branch, and I've thought about the leaves that I can see, and I've described those. So the adjective is green, the leaves and the wind are the nouns, so that's the name of the things in my sentence. And the movement that's happening is that the leaves are blowing. So blowing is the action or the movement in that sentence. I want you just to check over your sentence and make sure that you've got all of those bits in it as well. And also make sure that you've got capital letters, finger spaces, and that you've ended your sentence in some way. So in year 1, you've learnt all about capital letters, lowercase letters, and about how we think about those looking different, about showing the person that's reading our writing that they look different. We've used full stops, question marks, and more recently we've been thinking about exclamation marks. So here I've got 3 sentences. So where is the little brown mole? The small boy shouted, "Watch out!" And the mole ate the creamy cake. Now you can see there that again I have thought about my nouns, my verbs and my adjectives, made sure that my sentences have made sense. I've read over them to make sure that they sound right as well, and made sure that I've got my finger spaces in there as well, so that all my words are spaced out so they do make sense. So what I want you to think about is that we can use those nouns, adjectives and verbs in our sentences and use them in different ways, and thinking about question marks, exclamation marks and full stops, and thinking about making our sentences a little bit different when we're writing them. So in year 1, you need to start checking your sentences always make sense. So I have been a little bit sneaky here, and I have put a few mistakes into the sentences that I've written here for you. And what I want you to do is I want you to pause on this slide now, and I want you to have a think about where I might have gone wrong. I even wonder if you could write out the correct way to make these sentences make sense, because they don't quite make sense at the moment. Now I've got a bit of a challenge for you. I want you to write 5 sentences and check over them, remembering your nouns, your verbs, your adjectives, as well as capital letters, lowercase letters, exclamation marks, question marks and full stops. Goodness me, there is so much to think about in year 1 now. But I'm sure that you can rise to this challenge and be really, really super good at checking over your sentences now to make sure that your sentences are making sense, and also making sure that you are just trying out different sentences using those different types of punctuation as well.